So, this is Ed Accura, producer of the short film documentary, a film called Black Can't Swim. The aim of the film is to understand why there's a disproportionate amount of black people and ethnic minorities that can't and don't swim. On my journey to find the truth, I have the pleasure of speaking with one of Britain's greatest actors. He played Charles Robinson in 3 James Bond films. He played One in the Resident Evil film series. He played General Zod in Krypton. He played the head teacher this year in an episode of one of my favourite crime dramas, Silent Witness, and has been in many other films and TV programmes. He is also the patron of the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust, the ambassador for the Prince Trust, involved in the Notting Hill Carnival, dance captain for the Fox Carnival Band. We've seen him swagger on Strictly Come Dancing. He plays the trumpet in his jazz band and is a co-founder of Cage Cricket and still finds time to be a great husband and father. Mr. Colin Salmon.
I never look back and I don't look down.
You are amazing. This is great. Do you ever sleep?
Yeah, I do. I sleep. I think the key to it all is whatever you're doing, do it well and do it with everything you've got and then move on. But I sleep as much as I can.
Good. Well, Colin, thank you for taking the time to be the first guest in the Deep End with Ed Accura. I'm truly honoured. So when we first spoke, you mentioned floating on your back on a hot summer day being one of the true pleasures of life. How has swimming positively impacted your life?
Well, swimming has always been, for me, it's like meditation, actually. We weren't a wealthy family, so our one holiday was off to Yarmouth, but I spent a lot of time. I grew up in Luton, born in London, grew up in Luton, and like a lot of the kids at that time, the trip down to the outdoor pool was part of life. It was noisy, it was loud, exciting, but also if you didn't go, you weren't part of it. So I went, and then you had to go off the high board, which was another big, massive part of the initiation of being with that group of boys and girls at the time. So I just had to do it to be part of the group, really.
As you saw in the film, my mum played the intro, which she didn't want to do, but I said to her, it's because of you I can't swim, so you have no choice but to play that part. So, growing up, swimming was never part of my life, but hopefully moving forward, I can recapture some of that enjoyment.
Well, I think that's the way of looking at it. One is you've got lots to look forward to. That's the other way. You've done great without it, and now it's just another beautiful part, potentially, that can play a part. So I would say it's two ways. It's positive as well. I'm so much looking forward to it. One of the issues that has been highlighted is the lack of visible swimming role models within the black community. Hence the reason why I'm speaking with influential figures like yourself. What else do you think the community can do to help change the negative perception associated with blacks and ethnics in swimming? It's really interesting because I remember as a kid being told that, we weren't great swimmers. I was amazing. I was a sprinter and a triple jumper and an athlete all round, and had my thighs were big, I was strong, and I always struggled to float when I was young. And they used to say, it's the density of your legs, so you can't float. But I was determined to swim. So I remember always having tight hamstrings from sports, so that made it difficult. But I just think it's something that you just do. You can get into it. And I mean, I sort of feel from the perspective of mothers, and if you think about it, there's a vulnerability because your mum, at an early age, she will come into the dressing room, but when she's slightly older, she can't share the dressing room. So you're having to go into an environment which is pretty male heavy. And I think our people are aware of, how can we put this delicately? It's a male environment, and there are not all good males. We used to go down there as a team together, you know what I mean? We'd be all, and there could be tricky people around and stuff.
stuff, so you would always be mindful of each other. So there's lots of things floating around in this. You know, it's not just the swimming. It's the, you know, let's put this really, you're vulnerable in lots of ways.
Yeah.
Down a swimming bath, it's a dangerous place in the water, out of the water, particularly. So I get the caution and the protection. And like my dad was quite a heavy disciplined guy, you know, he's Jamaican, and he used to say, I said, Dad, what was that about? You know, you said, he said, all in, I was scared you were going to get in trouble. Yeah, but I felt safer on the street than sometimes at home, Dad, because you were so flipping heavy, but I was scared you were going to get in. So that heavy discipline was tempered with fear for me. So I get that, and I respect that, but it should sort of hold me back from certain things. So I think the way to do it is to literally just do it. Let's do it. I mean, if we have to sort of book events, if we have to make things happen, I mean, you've got the great teacher that was which some of my kids swam with down in Notting Hill, you know, our friend who's in your show, in the film, you know, and he was one of those rare dreadlock guys who was on the edge of the pool who took the kids through swimming. I never really thought about it, because to me it was normal.
Yeah, Michael D'Souza, yeah.
Exactly. But then I come and I hear about growing up in Luton, I didn't see the problem. And then I came to London and then I hear all these things and I'm like, oh my goodness, wow, okay. I just wanted to do everything. I wanted to swim, I wanted to run, I wanted to be everybody. I wanted to be Mark Spitz. I didn't even see colour when I was a kid. I remember my white mate wanted to be Pele, and Bobby. I was a bit of a Man U fan then, so I wanted to be Bobby Charlton, and that was not a problem. And then we hit an age, and everybody said, "Well, you can't be Bobby Charlton, and he can't be Pele." I get the role models, but I think as kids just see people doing stuff, and I think it's like Serena Williams and stuff, just because we didn't see it often.
Yeah.
We didn't see it much. I mean, our flash was enough for me, you know. So I think things like your film and the likeness of men talking about, and women, adults talking about their weaknesses or their fears is really liberating to young people. So I suppose that would be the most important thing as a role model.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you have 4 lovely children. At what age were they introduced to swimming, and was it a conscious decision on your behalf?
Well, we introduced them to swimming young. We love going to the seaside. We like holidays. So we knew they had to swim. So what we did, and we still have it, it's out now, I've got to take it out. We've got an above ground pool that we put in the garden. You know, one of the sort of £99 things that you just, and what I would recommend anybody is you fill them 2 feet so the children walk around in their hands. It's like a paddling pool, but a bit bigger. You can be in there with them. And the children just walk on with their hands, and then you just slowly, incrementally, you fill it up a bit more, and then they get a bit more confident, and then we do whirlpools in it, and just laugh and play until it becomes just another place to play in water, in the room. So it's not an unnatural thing, but it's just that thing of, you know, when I was young, there were a lot of people who had a fear of dogs. A lot of black people just had a fear of dogs. You know, that was something now. I see all the young boys there running around with pit bulls and stuff, and I laugh to myself because I think, God, that was not about this generation. I think, again, yeah, we just taught them to have fun because we wanted to go to the seaside, you know.
I have an 8-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old teenager, I call her, and she learned to swim basically because my wife insisted that at a very early age she learns how to swim. So hence the reason why I'm trying to encourage as many people, and it's a life skill, apart from everything else.
And it's a great fitness thing. I mean, you know, for hydrotherapy and stuff like that, you know, when you've got an injury, you can't do high impact sport. I mean, swimming is something that can really keep you strong, keep your core strong, and it's something that you really benefit from it because you don't put strain on your joints. Knees strengthen so much in the pool, and that's something again we're in a very conscious age of fitness, and water is a very, very plays a bigger as we get older, especially. So you're coming into it at the right time.
Currently in the UK, about 75% of pupils leave primary school able to swim 25 metres. But the figure drops to 42% in the most deprived areas of the country. Do you think the government and the authorities have a part to play in eradicating this issue?
I think that's a very, very, very valid point. I think yes, because I think, we had swimming baths. They're a bit like libraries. You see the Lido post-war and how important it was, the sort of swimming pools and these amazing cathedrals that were Ruislip and down at Tooting Beck and the Hampstead Pond. I mean, these were really celebrations of the working class as well as, the wealthy always had their pools. So these places were really important. And there's something else that happens in a swimming pool is when everybody just rows, it's a bit like, how can I put it, the proliferation, say, of the dinner suit, the tuxedo. People don't realise that it was made to rigor because you could hire one, and regardless of your background, you were all equal, right? On a Friday night, you could hire that suit, go out, and if you could dance and polish your shoes, you looked like the same as a duke or as anybody else. Now, a swimming pool is a very similar place to me. It's a place where, we'd often meet girls and people in the pool, and then you go out, and then you meet them afterwards, and you'd be surprised at how they looked because you didn't see that. It's the fashion, you just saw costume and fun. So it's an incredible place of equanimity. So ultimately, I think it's really important that we have these, what I call places of secular fellowship, where people can really genuinely just be and live and enjoy. And it's noisy and it can be quite frightening, but you get over the fear. And I think, yes, government does have a part to play in that, because I think the baths were really important. Steam rooms are really, it's a service that people need, especially now. We need more of it so we can encourage mums and tots and dads and tots to come down for part of the day. And yes, North Kensington, we have one. There's a great pool there. We're lucky, just under Grenfell actually. And but they're becoming rarer, because that's a big piece of property and real estate. And I'm realising, they're becoming private clubs, or disappearing and becoming, more developments. And I think there's always got to be room for public service. And I think it's just a remnant.
Most of us are aware of the life skill and the recreational benefits of being able to swim. But a lesser known fact is the mental health benefits.
No question. I think the thing is, it's about, when you get into the stroke and you're doing it for yourself, and you're into the swing lanes or whatever, it's that left, right, left, it has definite impacts. It's like walking, activity is key to mental health. Even back to the Greek days, it was gymnasia, academia. It's a balance of both. You can't be either one or the other. And I think what's wonderful for all those people out there who can't swim, who feel they can't swim, and who are very amazed, it's closest thing I've ever encountered to flying. I often think of fish and birds. We can't fly, but you can get in water, and it's very similar. And you get a private conversation with yourself. You're conscious of your breathing. You're conscious of your movement. It's like mindfulness actually in action, because you have to be. You work as your whole body has to work together, and I think it's a very, very impactful and powerful thing to be able to do. So yes, I think it would just definitely have a positive impact on mental health.
There is speculation that slavery had an impact on black people's attitude and consequently fear of water. And there's also talks of fear of swimming being passed down the generation through genetics. And in other words, we are likely to inherit the fears of our parents. Do you think there's any truth in this?
Well, I think it's a really interesting thing, because we have, within our culture now, we have quite a big African diaspora here. So I suspect, not all coming from the Caribbean or from points of slavery. So therefore, the question would be for me is, how do those people deal with water? So, if I was breaking it down, my daughter did anthropology, my son did social policy, so they've taught me about research. With regards to the handing down of fear to the generations, no doubt. I have no doubts about that. So, with regards to things I've discovered about potentially homophobia and the impact of things I alluded to earlier of the abuse of slave owners or power they had over the slaves was physical, sexual, and all sorts of. So I understand the holding close to of children and each other, and it would make sense, wouldn't it, that if I just put myself in the other thing, into the other head here, if I was a slave owner and I was trying to keep control and stop escape in the southern states of America, and as a lesson, what would I do? I would probably find gapers or something and find a pot and stand everybody around, throw somebody in, and let them see what happens, and then say, that's a dangerous place to go. Makes total sense to me. So I can't stress enough that the impact of slavery has echoes that have no doubt affected so many things. And I think by talking about them and addressing them, we will conquer the fears and put to rest some of these horrific myths that have been set up. It's really important for us to take control of the narrative for our children's sake. And I think, the fact you come off this question, the fact I'm even prepared to answer the question, I think answer it in an honest, and it's not pretty, but let's be honest, there's things that have occurred during that time which is just beyond anybody's imagination. And I think, we've got to be honest. We've got to start to be honest. And I think, in a way, there's an element for me as well, which fear of swimming. To swim is a symbolic thing. It's almost a thing of you have to swim. We are the people of jazz. We love jazz. We love adaptation. We can play. And there's a term for jazz. It's like jazzing the surf. They call it. It's like we adapt. We change the time. We are absolutely something that will come that is natural to us. And I feel once we overcome it and start to love it and realise what it is, it's going to be an amazing liberation. The water is just a powerful element that we deserve to be. Like the earth, wind and fire. It's interesting there's no water there because there's 5 elements. So I'll answer that question. Yes, I have no doubt.
We've got a lot of work to do. But I believe that this is the beginning of the end of the stereotypes and the myths and everything. Because when the film was released, when the film called Black Can Swim was released in February, I had a huge amount, and I still do, a huge amount of people coming out to me saying, thank you. And I'm asking, why thank you, man? They said, because now you've almost given us the license to be able to talk about it. And this is people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, saying that we couldn't talk about it because of the race element.
Absolutely, we address. I think that's what it is, isn't it? We're adults and we're prepared to say, I'm afraid, and that's it. As soon as you can do that, you release it. Once you approach things from a position of love, it's just all of a sudden. It becomes a lighter thing. So with your 8-year-old, it's not about you feeling secure. She will learn something from you. That lesson you will teach her as a parent, the lesson of all the lessons. That's the one, because she will see we can change, we can adapt. And I would say this as well. It's something really important to me. I've got to say, there's an amazing book about mindsets, and there's an amazing thing that was discovered regarding the word natural and the application of the word natural. You're a natural. And I'm sure you've heard, every single black male, female probably has heard this. When you approach football, or you approach running, or you approach... And what it does, it debilitates it. Because that belief is that you're a natural. From the point of view of the coach or the teacher standing in front of you, that almost absolves them of a certain responsibility, which means you can be almost ignored. And secondly, it can actually stop us working hard. Because there is no such thing as natural. There are those who see the pattern. There are those who can work it out quickly. We develop quickly. Our children will get up and run and develop fast in physical scenarios, and therefore they will play football more than anybody else. And ultimately, they played, but it wasn't like work. Whereas what we need to say to people, it's okay somewhere in there, because it's something that maybe doesn't come naturally, and because of that psychological game that's been played, trick, I say, not even people not even aware of it. You're a natural dancer, you're a natural, oh great, I'm a natural. So what does that mean? I don't have to work hard? No, stop it. Don't actually let that into your brain. Nobody's a natural. We just saw it early. We've got maths. We worked out that sum. Nobody says that about maths. You know, oh, he's a natural. You know, oh, he just worked it out. Well done. Now the rest of you, let's just go through it again. So we have to change our mindset. And because it's not something we do naturally, it's good because that is an exercise in mindset. And we just don't worry. We just try again. The more you get in, the easier it gets. The more you get in, the easier it gets. And that's it. It's a challenge for us, and it's a positive one because this isn't something that's natural. So now there's something to start working on. From there comes everything, and I really mean that. I could have been this, I could have been that, and I was good at them. Guys who were less skillful than me went on to become professional footballers and went on to do stuff. And I'm like, what happened? Oh, I thought it came easy. I was told it came easy. So I didn't work hard enough. That's all it is. Like, nah. Anybody calls your kid a natural, just say, excuse me, please don't do that.
That's seriously giving me something to think about. And it does make sense, doesn't it?
It's key. It really is. I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm an autodidact. I got slung out of school. It's been a struggle. People think I'm a champ. But a struggle that I've enjoyed because I like to learn. So I've had to go into situations where I'm not a natural. We work on my voice, we work on different things, we work on my diction and work on all sorts. I can see it's just so nourishing.
How prominent is swimming amongst your black friends in comparison to your non-black friends?
I think most of my friends swim. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of my friends swim. Yeah, I was out with John Wonder, the doctor. He's a swimmer. He's out the beach, you know. Recently, yeah, everybody was in the pool. Everybody was in the water.
Now let's talk about hair. Something that I don't have. So I have very little experience with hair. But it's a common fact that black females spend 9 times more on their hair products than any other race. And I was speaking with Alice Deering, the only black swimmer in Team GB, and she did a whole piece about black women and their hair and how it impacts their willingness to go into the pool.
I totally get it, and I've run out with umbrellas on many occasions. I've seen my family in the rain, they've had their hair done, and it's not cheap. But that said, you know, my wife has an ear, perforated eardrum, so she can't get her ear in the water. But she swims. She just swims with her head out of the water. So she doesn't have to go under. You don't have to go into a torrent or into a really, really crazy sea or a busy pool. You just find other avenues. And I know how industrious women are, all women. And I think, if you think about it, you know, when women's done her hair perms, black or white, or had to do hairdo, she's going straight into a swimming pool. So I think it's just about being imaginative, and if you really want to do it, you'll do it. I don't think there's anything stopping anybody doing anything in this world. I think we have ingenuity and resilience to deal with these things. And of course, from a very young age, let's get these children swimming from young. Let's do that. So before they're spending hundreds of pounds on their hair, let's get the babies swimming. And the babies, the parents will learn. I used to be chair governors of a nursery school, and we used to have sort of family literacy, we called it, where we literally would create literacy programs where the children would work on books with their parents. Often, occasionally, we'd have parents who were illiterate, and they would learn with their children. And it was a wonderful thing having children, because they can actually end up being your coach and encourage you. And there's very little you wouldn't do for your kids. And I think you said that, you know, the thought of your daughter falling into a pool and you not being able to go in after or something, it's enough to sort of initiate your interest or thought and need for it. And I got that very strongly. But I do believe we're always on the move, and I think there's nothing holding us, really. Haircut, I don't believe that is stopping. And as a man with no hair myself, I swim faster now. I met Duncan Goodhue, and he was hairless. I have the West African trait, so I'm not the hairiest man on the planet. And I swim past them.
Yeah. and nowadays they have all these swimming hair nets for afro heads, swim scarf, and various different other ones. So there really isn't any excuse, is there?
No, it's just it's a business opportunity. Though.
So do you think the media can help spread awareness? There's only so much individuals like myself can do.
Well, I think how can I put this? If we wait for the media, we won't swim. Let's just get on. Yeah, and I suspect one thing that we're going, and I mean this is, I've never thought about this before, but if there's one thing for about having a black James Bond be it. I mean, I played Colin Sergeant Ryan in Soldiers, and I was a Marine. I played a Marine. I dived off a boat into the water to save the two guys, and now I realise that's almost a political act. That's an extraordinary thing. Because I did. I'm a Marine, so if you're a Marine, you swim. They said two things. If you're a Marine, your hate squad is you get wet. It's an interesting one. Yeah, the media has a role to play, but I think it could be as much as Jocelyn Essien. I mean, I know Jocelyn. She could have a sketch. That would actually. I'm actually going to suggest that to her. And if you're listening, Jocelyn, here you go. You've got the woman on the side of the pool making every excuse in the world not to get in. Finally, at the end of the series, she just can't. It's a wonderful scenario. But we can do it with humour. I ain't going to wait for me. You've done it. I think what you've done is extraordinary.
Going back to James Bond and the Black James Bond, I heard you were possibly going to be what you call the first James Bond, even before we started talking about Idris Elba.
I used to screen test the girls. So I would screen test the girls for Pierce Brosnan's movies. So I literally was brought in originally to just read lines with the actors and to help them get to the level they needed to get to. So it was, and I'm a happily married man, I'm cool, and I love women, I really do, and I really feel it's important that they achieve. I've got two beautiful daughters, extraordinary daughters. I've got three beautiful sisters. My mother was key, my grandmother. I have no question in my mind that the world needs women. We need our women to succeed. So I was brought in to do that, and I was quite good at it apparently. And Pierce Brosnan saw the tapes clearly. He was watching the actresses and realised I could do a good job, and he made the suggestion that I would make a great James Bond. That's how that came about.
So it still can happen though, can it?
Oh, okay. What, for me?
Yeah, for you.
Personally, I'll be honest with you, I think as playing Charles Robinson, that character is a difficult one. I think that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my dream scenario would be in about 15 years when I'm old enough, I'd love to come back as M. I'd love to have sort of gone up progression. I'm disappeared at the moment, but I would love to return down the line to take over that role. That would be fantastic.
So what have you been up to of late, and what does the world have to look forward to?
Krypton, we wrapped that earlier in the year, and then found out not too long ago we were due to start again this September now, and that got cancelled. So that's been a slight disruption. Did a show called Intelligence, comedy show, which has gone well. I've just read Frankenstein for Penguin Books, 50 classics. David Harewood did War of the Worlds, and it's like, it's a wonderful thing bringing new voices to the classics. And I've got to say to anybody if you don't know Frankenstein, I really do believe you should. And read it. And read out loud as well. I'm just going to say that as well. When you read, go off somewhere quiet and read to yourself the voice, because then you'll get the rhythm. And to think this book was written by an 18-year-old girl is just extraordinary. She works out. And then, of course, we did Carnival, we did Steel Pan, we did that. We took up the whole of July, August through. And I've been an ambassador for them. You're so valued, and it's really very important and very powerful work. So, I wish you all the best in your life.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can see that we are at a turning point, and I believe that if we keep on talking about it, we will achieve the objectives of eradicating the issue and the stereotypes the myths and the high drowning rates.
Yeah, we can swim.
Yeah, of course we can. Blacks can swim.
To be able to just, to commune with the fishes is a good thing. Salmon. As a salmon, I go and say, come on guys, get in the water. We swim.
Good.
We swim against the tide. We're strong. And I've got to say, guys, come on, get your trunks out. You look great physically, women, with all that work we're doing. Any opportunity to get a pair of sort of...
Yeah, show it off.
Get out there, show us what you got, you know. It's fantastic. It's a great sport. And it's, that's key. But a real pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir.